Hey, yo, what is up, guys? Your boy Ed from Elite TV. You already know I got my boy Raul right here. What did you do today, my boy?
I got top 8 at the
Fort Worth Regionals, yeah. You don't even know which one he topped, but he topped. He got 4th place. Raul, what did you play, man?
Brandon Deskia.
Ah, man. How were your matches like?
I got one loss against Snake Eyes, Pure Snake Eyes. And
Nice.
I won my second Pure Snake Eyes matchup. So it was 2 Snake Eyes, 1 Cash, 1 Crystal Beast round 1. That was really random. And a couple of
Other rogue stuff, yeah.
Rogue.
There's a lot of rogue here today.
I played 2 Cash actually, and 1 Voiceless Voice.
Nice. Any shout outs before we get started?
Shout out to my boy Angel for coming with me.
Oh my god, is that Angel?
Shout out to Bortle for giving me the bracelet. After I got the bracelet, I started winning all my matches.
Dang.
And shout out to all the boys in Houston, Galaxy Gaming.
They be the boys.
To you, Eddie, man.
Hey, man, thank you. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. Well, you ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
All right. So I played 3 Aluber.
Cool.
It's the heart and soul of the deck. You search all your branded spells and traps with this card. It's your main normal summon. It's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Nice.
We have Quem. Sometimes you get some really awkward hands. Quem really gets you out of those situations. Sometimes you send like a McCurrier. You can, if you have a Bistio in your hand, you can banish it. It gets you to your branded fusion, just in like a 2-card combo. This plus any Bistio monster gets you to that. I only play 1 though, so I can't really say that. But play Tragedy. Probably one of the cards you don't ever want to draw, but it's not terrible. Sometimes you draw some really weird hands where you draw this and Super Poly. Sometimes that's enough to clear a board. And it definitely came up in my final round against Dynamorphia. Just this plus Super Poly sets a Masquerade. They pay half their life points.
That's crazy.
So they start taking more damage. But yeah, we have Ad Libitum. Probably the biggest brick you never want to see, but it's always used as a discard fodder if you do draw it.
Okay.
This gets you to double, maybe even like your 3rd Mirror Jade in 1 turn. So being able to banish 3 times in 1 turn non-targeting is really crazy for a lot of matchups.
Yeah.
And yeah, it special summons any Despia monster too. So any level 8 fusion, anything, it gets you everything you need basically.
Nice.
And 2 Fallen of Albaz, you need this card. I see a lot of people playing it at 3. I really enjoy playing it at 2. I never want to see this card, but whenever I do, it's nice to see it with like other cards in, you know, with them. So like Super Poly or anything like that. It's really nice.
Cool.
It also came up with like a situation where I used like a banishment. I special summoned another Despia monster in my graveyard, and I fused the Fallen of Albaz on my field with another XC's monster on my opponent's side of the field for a Mirror Jade. So just stuff like that.
Crazy. This thing is freaking insane. I
played 1 McCurrier. I used to play 2. It's a huge brick. You never really need to. 1 is pretty good. It's a nice little monster negate, especially on your opponent's turn. If you have lost on the board, you can add this as an extra destruction. Usually they're not paying attention to another card that, you know, negates from your hand, another hand trap like that. We have Albion. This one gets you an extra draw. Sometimes you brick, and sometimes you're like hoping that you get to like an extra card, an extender. Anything that can help you push a little bit more. And most of all, it gets you to a Retribution in the graveyard, which gets you set up for another branded fusion on your follow-up. We have 1 Cartesia. I special summoned this a lot today, but I hard drew it a lot. I only play 1. I only play 1 Dust Dragon because I don't have a lot of space in my extra deck. But this card gets you to most of your fusion monsters. I summon Masquerade a lot on my opponent's turn with this card. And for my Bestials, I play 1 Lubellion and 1 Serenir. I don't like playing more. Going first, you never want to see these. This just helps you get those awkward hands to combo. So those are really good. I wouldn't play more in the main. I really enjoyed this ratio.
Nice.
And as for the spells, Branded Fusion. So you either want to start with this or a Luber. Starting with this, I usually go for a Lubellion line because I don't have a Dark already on the field, so I have to get one from the deck. It's, you know, not much to say about that. It's a 1-card combo. It breaks a lot of boards by itself.
Yeah.
We have Branded Opening. This card in the draw phase is really good. Helps you dodge a lot of weird hand traps like you know, Veiler or Droll.
Yeah.
And if people still play Droll, I didn't get Drolled a lot today, but whenever I did, this really came in clutch. I played around a lot of hand traps with this card. We had Branded Lost. I played against Lab today too, I believe. Can't really remember all my matchups, but yeah, this card definitely stops anything
Any
from
crazy
happening.
effects, yeah.
So if the fusion summons the first thing to happen, they don't trigger any of their what's it called, ladies, or
Yeah.
you know, any of the furniture pieces from the graveyard. It's really good. It comes up a lot. We have Branded in Red. I used this a lot today. I searched it with a Looper if I already had Branded Fusion, and helped me dodge a lot of cards like Imperm Veiler, Moonlit Chill. It was probably my favorite card, but it's really good at one. We have 2 Fusion Deployment. I didn't have too much deck space because I was playing a couple of other techs inside of my main for like the Branded engine, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. It came up a lot whenever I drew it, but other times, you know, you burn through one Cartesia and you never really use it again, except for like discard fodder whenever you add it during the end phase. Next we have 3 Super Poly. This plus any Despio or Fallen of Albaz pretty much breaks most of the boards that are inside of this format. In Snake Eyes, you can take care of the Masquerena or the Appaloosa with Fallen of Albaz. If you see a Masquerena, you can take it out with any Despia monster, and yeah, pretty much breaks any board.
Free.
This one's a little funny. I play One Allure.
One Allure.
I had a lot of trouble with consistency for the most part, so I reduced a couple of generic cards that are just like board breakers, like Forbidden Droplet, because I was testing that for a little while.
Yeah.
But I want to see a starter. I want to see things in my side whenever I'm going second. So just One Allure is pretty good because you don't want to banish a lot of darks in this deck. You need most of them, and it kind of hurts if you have to banish like a Fallen of Albaz.
Yeah.
We play 1 Triple Tactics. This is more of a cross-out target. It's come up a lot for me specifically. I played a lot of matchups in like game 3 where I set up my board and I use Mirror Jade effect, and they use triple attack to either take or draw 2. It prevents, the cross-out prevents that from happening. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Gold Sark, I wanted another starter. I wasn't originally playing this, but I need to get to my engine. If I don't, then you know, it's kind of hard to play through a lot of boards. And there's only like 2 matches where I actually ended up getting to my second standby phase, because a lot of the matches in this format don't, you know, go that far. Usually it's like turn 4, the game's over. But Foolish Burial, another starter.
Another one of
This gets you to Tragedy, which gets you to Aluber, then Branded Fusion, etc. It also, just for like really awkward hands, you can send like Serenir, send Retribution with Serenir's effect, or Albion sends another Branded Spell or Trap.
Nice.
And if you draw like a Bestial, you can send Mercurier, banish Mercurier, and
search. Crazy.
The cards that help my Branded Fusion go off every game.
Oh my god.
If you see these with your Branded Fusion, or if you're going first, you see these, you're pretty much
GG's, man.
Yeah, mostly for the most part winning. I think I lost 1 game where I did draw a cross out because I played through like 4 hand traps. It was hard.
I did like 4 hand traps. Oh no.
And we had 2 Ash Blossom.
Okay.
And we'll just add this one, and Imperm. These are the only hand traps in my deck. I don't use them on any Snake Eye opponents because I'm really scared of triple attack.
Yeah.
So I usually just rely on my actual engine to break the board, and for the most part, I won most of my games against Snake Eye. I did lose 1 match and I won another, but you know, that being said, it was really good. Don't really recommend hand trapping Snake Eye. 1 hand trap doesn't do enough against that deck. And for the other trap cards that are engine related, we have 1 Banishment, 1 Brightest Blazing, and a Retribution. The Banishment, I see a lot of Branded players playing it in the side. I really enjoy this in the main. It comes up a lot. It stops the SP from coming out early in the Snake Eye matchup. If you set this, you can banish the Link Karibo that they make, so you don't get a card banished off your board or your graveyard. And you know, if you have another Despia monster on your field, you can summon a Looper with this. use the other Despia monster, banish the Link Karibo, make Masquerade, and the Looper still gets its search. Brightest Blazing, this is basically a blanket skill drain for the whole field. So if you have any fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as material, you can activate this, and on resolution it'll choose that fusion monster and negate all other face-up cards currently on the field.
Nice.
So that one's it came up a lot. It negated a lot of triple attacks today, and if they set up like 2 continuous and a quick spell, I just chained it and it negated everything for the rest of the turn. It was pretty good. Retribution. This card's actually really good. Even if you set it, there's a lot of decks that activate special summon. So any spell, trap, or monster effect that activates a special summon, you could just negate it by shuffling back up fusion monster list Fallen of Albaz from the field, or 2 from the graveyard, and then you get a follow-up branded fusion for your following turn if you have it in the graveyard. So it's been really good.
That's crazy.
That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, I play 2 Mirror Jade. You never really go through more than one, and if you do, you shuffle one back with like Lubellion.
Yeah.
Then you get an extra Mirror Jade for your following turn. 1 Lubellion. I really miss playing this at 2, but it's been really, it's good. You only really need 1. It's really hard in the cash matchup because if this gets hit with Unicorn, your grind game gets,
really difficult.
Cut in half.
Yeah.
We have 2 Albion. You make this a lot if you summon a dark or you have another dark in your hand. It helps you get to Lubellion, sets up your Lost. Usually this is the one you really want to go into, but if you can't, usually just go for Lubellion, and it still gets you pretty far with the Luber Search.
Yeah.
So we have 1 Titanclad. This actually used to be a Glory, but I found that since I put Goldsark in the main deck, I usually banish them at Courier, so getting a Quem on the field during my end phase or summoning the Fallen of Albaz still it's pretty good. And it came up a lot during my 1 cash matchup. I probably got my matchups all mixed up during this video.
Hey, man.
We got 1 Rinrum. I didn't use this once in the tournament, but I have I've had a lot of scenarios where I have used the graveyard effect to summon a Fallen of Albaz. The fusion summon sometimes comes up. It's better to have it than not to have it and need it. We have 1 Dusk Dragon. I only ever go through 1, and usually my other fusion summons are just like Fallen of Albaz related or Despia related, so don't really go into this much. And if you draw a fusion deployment and a Luber, you're definitely making this, and you're getting an extra level 8 or another Despia monster from your deck to the graveyard. Good. Masquerade's probably been my favorite card today. I summoned it almost in every match, especially whenever I left my opponent's life points to like 2,000. Leaving your opponent on like making only 3 plays and then just losing after that it's really good. It puts them on a timer. We have 1 Quiritus. I summoned this probably only like once, but it definitely stopped me from getting OTK'd. And I actually play 1 Lulu. This one's just an Omni Negate. I like having it in the extra deck because if you have Dusk Dragon in the graveyard, you can banish it, special summon this, and it's just another negate for any face-up card on the field if a card leaves the extra deck. We have 1 Chimera. This actually, I got a lucky pop on my final round. I popped 2 on my opponent's field because he set 2, and I ended up hitting one of the judgments, so I definitely came up. Comes up in a lot of other matches, just a pop and drop. We have 1 Dragostapelia. You always make this with Banishment, or if you run out of targets, you make it with Lubellion, Super Poly. It's just a really good card overall. And then my other 2 Super Poly targets, Garura, mostly for just fusing off any of the smaller monsters inside of Snake Eyes. You get them off the bodies, they have to find other ways to extend. And Mud Dragon, it's just a nice card to have because I did go against a couple of matches where I had the same attribute, different types. It's pretty good. And the targeting protection for all your monsters is really good too.
Alright, what does the side deck look like?
Alright, for the side deck, it's actually really tight because I'm teching in 2 Shaddoll Fusions, 2 Shaddoll Monsters, and 3 Shaddoll Fusion. So the idea behind Winda is if your opponent already sets up their Snake Eye board, this side's only for Snake Eye by the way, but you basically go into Winda if you don't have access to your branded fusion. You send your Tragedy and you send either Aerial or Dragon. Usually you send the Aerial because you're trying to get the targets out of the graveyard to stop the Flamberg from triggering. And it limits your opponent to special summoning only once. So if they chain Princess, they're locked into that one special summon until you get rid of the Winda yourself.
Nice.
But the idea is you just use Shaddoll Fusion. If you don't have access to branded fusion, you summon Winda. You get access to Tragedy, and Tragedy gets you to Allure gets you branded fusion. And if you already have branded fusion access, you can go even further with that. You can summon Apgalone, send the 2 Shaddoll Monsters, get a back row off the field, and banish 3 from the graveyard, and get a permanent negate with Apgalone.
That guy, that Apgalone card is crazy.
Yeah, it's really good. Next we have all the back row hate for all the back row decks, because usually your engine is good enough to take care of monster related boards. So you just try getting rid of the small things. Usually side in the 3 Cosmic going second against like any Snake Eye matchup, because sometimes Summon Limit can do it for them, and Anti-Spell definitely hurts this deck. So having a chainable spell or trap, a chainable spell definitely helps in that matchup. Other back row decks, we have the 3 Evenly and Lightning Storm. Not too much to say about these. They just help clear out a board, make them easier to deal with, or take care of an Omni Negate, so your branded fusion can resolve. It's good.
Cool. Well, you did great today. You got 4th place. This is your first top 8. Good shit, dude. We're really proud of you. You did amazing. You really repped Houston out here today. You got any final words before we wrap up the video?
No final words. Just thanks for all the support.
Hey, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, good job, my boy.